Hi everyone. Today you are coming to check out my project for my nursing capstone course. It's my service learning project, and I chose to do sexual health and reproductive health for teenagers and young adults because I recognized that there was definitely a need in the community for this type of education. This is just some information I think people should be aware of regarding the teenage population and their sexual activity and their sexual habits. I won't go over them, you can read them, but I thought they were really important and definitely indicative of a need from education.
Hi everyone, my name is Michelle. I'm a nursing student at Frostburg State University, and I'm also a registered nurse practicing in the state of Maryland. And today I'm coming to talk to you about my capstone project for my course and the topic I chose. So I chose to talk about safe sex behaviors for teens and young adults, specifically from the ages of 15 to 24. And then after that, I chose to narrow it down even further and talk about safe sex habits and practices for teenagers from the ages of 15 to 18. Why did I choose this topic? I think it's something that I recognized there was a deficit in. And then doing my research, I found that children, teenagers, and young adults ages 15 to 24 per the CDC are more likely to have an STD, and they're at higher risk to contract an STD and spread the STDs. Doing my research, I specifically found also that this age group accounts for half of the new STI infections for chlamydia and gonorrhea every year. And for the year 2014, there was a total of 20 million cases. Half of those cases were for people ages 15 to 24. That's astounding. And even the CDC recognized at that point that they had an issue with the spread of sexually transmitted infections or diseases. Because of that, I wanted to find out why were teenagers not protecting themselves, what was causing them to spread these infections and to contract these infections, and then also what could I do to help, or what would I want to see done to help. The subject is also near and dear to me. I have a sister who's in that age group, and I want to make sure that she's safe, and she's safe to date out in this world and to, meet the man of her dreams eventually. And I want to make sure she's protecting herself and getting the right information. So, like I had said, doing my research, I found through the CDC website that people from the ages of 15 to 24 were more likely to contract chlamydia and gonorrhea, and on top of that, were more likely to spread the disease. I was trying to understand why. What was causing these people to do this and engage in these behaviors? And throughout my research, I had found three major factors. The first factor being a lack of education. I thought this was astounding, and something I even reached out to my 17-year-old sister about to find out, what is the sex education? What is health education involved nowadays? Ironically, her and I attended the same high school. We are several years apart from each other, and I was astounded to find out that the education hasn't changed much since I was in high school and I had the same class. And I asked her for her opinion if she felt that it was beneficial and if she took anything from it. So let's take a look at my interview with her.
And welcome back. I'm just kidding. So like my last question is for you. Where do you get most of your information about sex? Do you think you get it more from your friends and social media than you do obviously going to like a Planned Parenthood or an OBGYN or even mom and dad?
Probably, yeah. And probably just like not from very like reliable sources.
Right.
Because I feel like there are reliable sources out there, but they're not as easy to access as you would think.
So you could be getting misinformed and then taking that as truth.
Yeah.
Without really fully understanding what it is that you're learning.
Mm-hmm.
So then again, I guess it would be good to have some type of outreach. Social media would help then about accurate safe sex practices and accurate information resources about
I think so.
sex.
Yeah.
Sweet. This here is a representation of the state of Maryland's chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis infection rates. I just thought this was important to include in the presentation so you can see where we compare with the rest of the country. That's located right here in the right lower hand corner. What's causing this? Three things that they're finding: a lack of education, a lack of resources, and the stigma associated with people who contract STDs. People don't want to talk about it. Sex remains a taboo subject.
And welcome back. I'm just kidding. So like my last question is for you. Where do you get most of your information about sex? Do you think you get it more from your friends and social media than you do obviously going to like a Planned Parenthood or an OBGYN or even mom and dad?
Probably, yeah. And probably just like not from very like reliable sources.
Right.
Because I feel like there are reliable sources out there, but they're not as easy to access as like you would think.
So you could be getting misinformed and then taking that as truth.
Yeah.
Without really fully understanding what it is that you're learning.
Mm-hmm.
So then again, I guess it would be good to have some type of outreach. Social media would help then about accurate safe sex practices and accurate information and resources about
I think so.
sex.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So basically, I have a plan to use technology that the teenagers access on a regular basis, such as social media and text messaging, as a means to reach out to them and provide education about their sexual and reproductive health. I think that's a very important thing, and it's a resource we can utilize on a regular basis. Why would this work? Let's face it, the good majority of teenagers already use text messaging and social media as a way to communicate with each other. So text messaging about education, about sexual health and their education can only be a benefit to them and can be something that they can effectively utilize, having information right there at their fingertips. And this here, I just wanted to show everybody that teens do still text a lot, and text messaging can be an effective way to provide education to people in this age group. If you just take a look here, you see text messaging is the #1 communication for teenagers between the ages of 12 and 17.
Examples of the successful healthcare applications that people are using for themselves is applications for diabetes. They're finding a lot of success with a specific application that patients can access on their cell phone, and it helps them monitor their blood sugars, helps them monitor their labs, monitor what they're eating, monitor their weight. They interact, and if they have any questions, there's also somebody they can contact through the application, and it remains anonymous. Why can't we do that with sexual health? That's right. Make a cool application. Nobody has to know that it's about sexual health if you're really uncomfortable about it. But just know that you can go there and you can access the information. Also, like I said, I thought it would be really beneficial to implement a healthcare tip of the week, a sexual healthcare tip, to be honest with you. And that would be for all students. After you complete your after you complete your health education, what do you do with that information? Again, who did I go to? The teenager that I know. And I asked her, was there any information that you learned in that class that you felt you could apply to your daily life and you could apply just in general? No. We'll take a look at that, what she says to me as well. But it doesn't surprise me. So we have to start getting information that's useful, practical, and does provide good education for our teenagers so they can protect themselves. And I feel like signing up for a text messaging, it's not an option. And yes, I do know the issue with people may ignore it, people may delete it, people may get annoyed, people may even block it. But as long as I know we're getting some information out there that's accurate, that's credible, and that is helpful and educational, that's the most important part.
So these are just some other examples of successful uses of mHealth or mobile health applications and text messaging to provide education and resources for the management of other diseases. You see two of the ones I have listed here for diabetes, and the other one is for HIV. There's a link at the bottom for the diabetes side so you can see how it actually works. And again, it's really important to collaborate. As you can see here, there's a list of people that would have to be involved in order to make a web application and a text messaging system successful. Wouldn't be just the nurses. It would involve students, parents, people in the school, IT professionals, and web engineers. So very important for collaboration in order to be successful. And can it work? I don't even think that's a question. I know it can work, and we've seen it be successful with other health issues, and I don't think it would be an issue with taking care of sexual and reproduction health. It would provide a great resource for teenagers and give them the availability of stuff at their hand, at their fingertips. This is just a quick example of what a text message would look like if I were to implement the program and the kind of information that you could find. You see there's a PDF file attached to the text message. The teenager can then open the text message and get access to facts right there. The PDF can be downloaded and it can be saved to their phone and it can be accessible whenever they need it, which is the benefit of social media and text messaging technology.
Bottom line, at the end of the day, I think we can say honestly that using applications, web applications, and text messaging can be an effective means of communicating information and providing education, specifically more to people of a certain age group. And we've seen, and I've been able to show, that people between the ages of 15 and 24 really are the ones who utilize text messaging and social media more than any other age group. So we have to find a way to reach out to them, and we have to find a way to get on what I would call their level. In order to provide education about more safe sex health, and also to give them information about resources that they can utilize, and provide some anonymity if they were to have any questions about their own sexual and reproductive health, I think that using social media, web applications, and text messaging is an extremely effective means of communication and education. I look forward to the future and seeing what other opportunities come up for health applications and web applications, and just a way to educate people about their sexual health and how to stay safe. Thank you.